back to the channel, everybody. Today's video is gonna be wild. Just to give everyone a brief rundown, the Lyme disease plot has thickened. All these celebrities may actually be about to use those bunkers they built. Canada is passing anti-crime laws. A new theory has emerged for that early 90s government-ran gifted program that we all remember going to. And there have been some absolutely crazy new details emerge around this guy who calls himself Palm Beach Pete. Just wait until you see just how many coincidences there are. But guys and gals, don't forget to hit like and leave a comment on the video to increase the odds of my next upload showing up in your YouTube feed. But with all that out of the way, let's get after it.
We are under attack. Watch this scientist from the World Economic Forum.
People eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption of meat, then they would, it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat.
Right, so you're gonna do it for us. Midwest farmers are reporting to their local news station that strange boxes of ticks they didn't order are showing up on their fields. Lyme disease, which is definitely not a government-engineered bioweapon to give you alpha-gal so you can't eat meat, is found in the gut of ticks. But don't worry, guys, Pfizer's rebranding their old this year. In 1998, Pfizer came out with a Lyme disease that they pulled from the shelves in 2002. How it works is it trains your body to attack a certain protein on the Lyme bacteria that lives in the tick's stomach. But what they don't tell you is 33% of human beings carry a gene that causes expression of a specific protein that's pretty much identical to the protein that lives on the Lyme. So your body attacks your own tissue. Surely they'll just test people to make sure they don't have this gene. Give me a break. They're telling you what their goals are, but the government hasn't verified any of this. Think for yourself.
I think this whole Lyme disease situation, I think this is probably one of the creepiest things I've ever seen play out. But it's just become so obvious when you look at the details of this whole scenario. It's very clear what's going on. And crates and boxes of ticks just randomly showing up on farmland. I don't care if you put security cameras over every square inch of that property and waited for 2 million years. You're never going to capture a video of that occurring naturally. Someone is doing this on purpose.
Have you ever wondered where Dominic got the name Youngblood? And you never found it interesting that in 1982, the plane of hairdresser and seamstress for Ozzy Osbourne, Rachel Youngblood, crashed literally right beside where Sharon and Ozzy were staying? You don't find it interesting that he was just thrown in 6 episodes of a UK Disney show titled The Lodge? Dominic was given the character Oz, and it was conveniently launched on the 23rd of September, and it was based off the Israeli series, The North Star. And what does Dominic always refer to Ozzy as?
Ozzy for me, my whole life has always been my North Star. It's Ozzy's cross. How impactful was he and who you've become now as an artist? He was completely my North Star. Trying to comprehend it, I think like he was my North Star.
The passing of the torch happened, and you're doing the Ozzy tribute tonight. What has his legacy meant to you?
I mean, I think he's always been my North Star.
It's also important to pay attention to how the media is portraying these artists. For example, she said the passing of the torch. Yes, it's a figure of speech, but Ozzy has passed the torch publicly to Youngblood several times. Also saying things like Youngblood, the new voice of rock legends. Youngblood might be Ozzy from another dimension, and they were always stating prior to Ozzy's passing how much Youngblood was identical to Ozzy.
When Ozzy first met Youngblood, he said, "I've just met myself."
O'clock in the morning, like matches.
I'll believe it. I'm like, Ozzy's the same.
Really?
Yeah. Wait.
And I also found it very interesting. For over 15 years, scientists were calling Ozzy Osbourne a genetic mutant, saying that he had DNA unlike any other human on Earth. Not only that, but they were on the hunt to find the same genome of someone as musically as talented as Ozzy. The last thing you know, Ozzy Osbourne is doing his last performance and chooses Youngblood to sing the song Changes. I don't find it crazy at all since the transfer was public. Listen closely to what he says here.
A lot of Ozzy since we lost. A lot of Ozzy since we lost it.
It almost sounds like he was going to say, since we passed.
We've talked several times on this channel in the past about this idea of clones and doppelgangers and celebrities having lookalikes and elites having lookalikes that they can send to parties and functions. But when it comes to an actual celebrity being replaced and you're almost wondering, are they just transferring their soul or consciousness into a new body? I don't think I've ever seen an example that looked more suspicious than the Youngblood Ozzy Osbourne example. And I wonder if they ever determined exactly what it was that was making them see his DNA as being mutant amongst other humans. I wonder if Ozzy was walking around with Nephilim DNA.
The reason the scientists have gone missing is because they were all a part of building the military's secret weapon, Rods from God, aka Project Thor. It's a satellite hovering in space with rods the size of a telephone pole, around 20 feet long and 1 foot in diameter. And it is made with one of the densest metals on Earth. It's called tungsten. Also, I do know that metal has an extremely high melting point, allowing it to make its way through the atmosphere. It strikes with the force of a nuclear bomb, but has zero nuclear fallout. It's all based upon kinetic energy. The most commonly described version of this is that it's a satellite that's hanging in a lower Earth orbit, around 500 kilometers up, that carries a magazine of these rods. It's said with just 6 to 8 of these satellites spread across a given orbital plane, any point on Earth's surface could be targeted within 12 to 15 minutes. So just because you take one out does not mean that you're completely covered from a specific area, because how it works is they're just going off where it's orbiting at that exact time, and then when it's over that spot, that's when they drop the metal rod. So yeah, these people were supposedly working on this. Now, here's the thing that gets tricky. Maybe do these people know this is about to be a rod of God warfare? Do other countries have this orbiting also? Are they going into hiding? Are they going in bunkers?
I can only imagine that the day something happens that's so severe a country decides to use a weapon like that against its enemy, that's the day we're going to find out who really has nukes and who doesn't. Because as soon as the news drops that the United States has the ability to shoot you with a tungsten telephone pole from space, if that's ever actually confirmed to be real, I think that would be that pivotal game over moment. I think every world leader would just panic and flip the switch.
I think you're going to want to hear me out on this, because I have a reason for why I'm talking about it. Is something big about to happen? Something huge and unexpected? Because we're seeing different posts on social media from the elites or the powers to be that makes me think there's something going on. Or maybe they're just talking. But let me show you something that clicked today. So Robert Bigelow, the head of Bigelow Aerospace, who's a big UFO researcher, he posted something about what he called an impending mass extinction event. Yeah, that's what he was talking about in this clip. Now, these mass extinction events have happened in the past to Earth several times. At least 5 times that scientists and researchers know of. But they don't just happen. In fact, they don't happen every 1,000 years, every 10,000 years, or even every 100,000 years. So why is Robert Bigelow talking about one of these events? Like it's imminent, like it's gonna happen any day. Which I don't believe, just so you know. And this comes right after something else that's very suspicious. Grimes, the ex of Elon Musk, said a massive population drop is going to happen. I made a video about that yesterday. She didn't say it might happen. She said it's going to happen like it's a fact. And then, like I said before, we get Robert Bigelow, the billionaire who owns his own aerospace company, talking about a mass extinction event. Is this a coincidence or is it something else? I don't know, but I personally don't believe something like that is going to happen. But you never know.
I know those comments that Elon Musk's girlfriend made about this unexpected population drop that she thinks is coming, that she's completely convinced apparently is coming. I'm pretty sure those comments were made like a year ago, or at least close to a year ago. The data on this video claimed that it was just uploaded today. Hopefully this is not all old content that's being re-uploaded to Facebook. But at the risk of that being the case, I put this in here because it made me think about something. All these celebrities and elites are building these massive underground bunkers. We've been wondering for a while, What is it that they know that we don't know? When they first started doing it, most people were theorizing that they're expecting some worldwide cataclysm. However, as we get closer and closer to what is obviously the final days, as we get closer and closer to that, as we see more and more details emerge, as we see more evidence that we're seeing the fulfillment of the book of Revelation play out in real time, I'm convinced what these celebrities and elites are building these bunkers for is they are convinced that when Christ comes back, they're going to be able to hide from him. They think they can wait it out and just hang out through all of tribulation underground and then just emerge whenever the dust settles. But I'm starting to think that was the purpose of all these bunkers. Their boss, the devil, knows that his time is almost up.
So it's getting dumber in Canada. After all of the break-ins, murders, that's going on in Ontario, now Hamilton has decided that you're not allowed to have security cameras filming criminals doing crime, because the criminals deserve privacy, when they're committing these crimes. And so there's a bylaw that states that you're not allowed to film anything that's outside of the peripheral of your own property. Just listen to this.
Everybody has a Ring doorbell camera.
There are 10 security cameras mounted outside of Dan Miles' Hamilton home. He says they've been a valuable tool for crime fighting.
I've actually participated in evidence sharing of 3 homicides on these cameras, over 40 break-and-enters, multiple home invasions.
The cameras, Miles says, haven't prevented crime in the neighborhood, but they've helped with investigations.
I've given up over 40 videos to the Hamilton Police Services themselves, who have come here in person and asked me for them.
Including this one, shared also with Global News. Multiple angles of an alleged serial killer.
Sabrina Kuldar was behind that fence right there, where that sign is on the corner of it.
And shots of a 77-year-old man just before his death. So it came as a surprise when the city of Hamilton asked Miles to remove all of his cameras.
Yeah, guys, now you can't even film criminals doing their thing because criminals in Canada deserve more rights than its citizens. Yeah, absolutely. You're not allowed to film. You're not allowed to fight back. They took away your guns. It's almost like it's an invasion. But hey, who's even counting, or even paying attention? In Canada, we are so nice to criminals and pedophiles and the cartel and terrorists. But you know what you're not allowed to be? An extremist. And you want to know what an extremist is considered in Canada? Someone with good old-fashioned views. Someone who doesn't commit crimes. Someone who pays taxes. Someone who follows the law. Someone who has traditional views. That's considered extremist. But you can be a terrorist, a cartel member, a pedophile, a murderer, a thief, and you get so lax laws. Gee, I wonder why the government is going against its citizens. Is it an invasion? Is it a takeover? But yet they want 15-minute cities where your movement is absolutely tracked 100% of the time. They want CBDC so they know everything that you purchase. But they don't care about the criminals stealing things, coming into your house. And what I find really funny is then why are we giving humanitarian aid to other countries so that they can fight stuff? We should just tell them to comply, right? We should tell Ukraine to just comply. Go hide in your closets. Wait till Russia's done, right? Liberal logic.
A part of me kind of wonders if they allow this law to literally go into effect, and therefore they're basically establishing a precedent stating that anyone and everyone has a right to their privacy when they're in public. If they did that, then wouldn't every business have to remove their cameras? Wouldn't a system like Flock not be able to legally function within the borders of Canada if that was the law? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is what I hope happens. A world full of people like what we got, and they all know there's no security cameras to catch them doing anything, that doesn't sound like a nice place to live. But what I'm saying is, I wonder if this is going to be another one of those examples of them trying to pass some harebrained law that makes no sense because they're trying to push a specific agenda, and in the long run, because of their short-sightedness and how they created the law, they end up with a situation where they have less of what they were hoping to have more of. Does that make sense? So the very law that they passed is going to keep them from being able to do what they wanted to be able to do by passing that law. But Canada's got so many messed up laws and rules right now, I don't see how any of their police actually keep straight what they're supposed to be charging people for.
What is a conspiracy that you believe in?
That elementary school gifted programs is actually just a preventative measure for political revolution in America. By telling parents that, oh, your kid's on a fast track to college and like you're gifted, you're different. Just in case that person does ascend class status, the whole time they were like, yeah, I was different. I'm of a different nature than those peons that are stupid, that, you know, weren't gifted. And on the other side, if they become class conscious and they're like, oh my God, like, you know, I'm empathetic and like, I think that people should, you know, have rights and stuff. They make a nice little psychological profile when you're 5. 'Cause, you know, that can help you predict future behavior. And, you know, it doesn't hurt that every single person that's fast-tracked to college is actually just thrown into a massive, unsurmountable debt cycle that keeps them from becoming a political player in America, but whatever.
Of course, I have no way to determine if this is true or not, but as far as theories on this particular topic goes, I think this is probably one of the most logical I've ever heard. I've heard theories that they were finding the actual gifted kids and stealing them away from their families, that they were looking for this reality's version of 11 from Stranger Things, a kid that could move things with their mind. And while it's very possible that all of that is true, because we know the government spends a lot of money on some really ridiculous stuff, but if you were to intently look at any one of these theories, this is probably the one that you're going to get the furthest with. It makes sense. It's literally the simplest explanation that I've heard. And we know that by that point in history, the elites were already obsessed with not allowing any of the little people to climb the ladder. It just makes perfect sense to me. What do y'all think?
Okay, so a friend of mine, Tyler Hansen, messaged me the other day in regards to my video about Palm Beach Pete. If you don't know who Tyler is, he is very well known for having his smoking guns and proving these parasitic elites to be lizards. So yeah, in regards to Palm Beach Pete, I just thought I would show you Tyler's amazing research in finding a smoking gun. Which now brings us to Palm Beach Pete. You know, Palm Beach Pete, who seems to have the exact symmetrical teeth line as Jeffrey Epstein. Like you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, perfectly aligned to the exact same here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And would you look at that, Palm Beach Pete seems to have the exact same mark in the exact same place. Andrew Jackson with a mark on his face. Jack Johnson with a mark on his face. And Palm Beach Pete with the exact same mark. And would you look at that, Jack Johnson is bringing his tour in 2026 to West Palm Beach. Yeah, okay, Palm Beach Pete, are you sure you're not just wearing loads of different masks and playing different characters and manipulating reality and humanity? Nothing to see here, just for entertainment purposes, beautiful people. I am just a satire account, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Palm Beach Pete is currently going viral after he was just exposed for using Jeffrey Epstein's private jet. Yeah, I am not even kidding. So for those of you that did not see, the other day, Palm Beach Pete uploaded a video onto social media where he was saying that he took a private jet to LA, and in the background you could actually see part of the private jet that he took, as you can see in the back there. And well, it just so happens that Jeffrey Epstein had his own private jet, and well, this is what his private jet looked like. And if you put both of their private jets side by side, they literally look identical. So Palm Beach Pete just so happened to fly in the same private jet as the one that Jeffrey Epstein owned.
I do think that some of the connections that the guy in the first clip was trying to make are some things are genuinely just a coincidence. But I do find it very interesting how similar one of our early presidents would look to our most prolific child predator. He literally could have played him in a movie. It would have been believable. But it's still that's a stretch to think that there's some connection there unless it's the cloning thing. And I don't think there's any connection whatsoever to Jack Johnson. Some people just have similar facial features. But all that being said, this guy, Palm Beach Pete. How could no one be suspicious of that? And he's literally been shown to have the same stutter. He has similar mispronunciations of very specific words. He has multiple scars, marks, and other blemishes that look to match identically. I'm almost starting to wonder if this isn't actually him just brazenly living out in the open.
Okay, I don't think this is actually Palm Beach Pete, because this is Palm Beach Pete and this is his YouTube channel, and he looks nothing like the other Palm Beach Pete. Now, what's crazy is Palm Beach Pete has been posting on YouTube for many years, but he hasn't uploaded for a year. Now, if you keep scrolling, I'm telling you now, he has been posting for many years, yet for some reason Palm Beach Pete hasn't posted a video for an entire year. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, what if Jeffrey found Palm Beach Pete and wanted that character? Like, what I find even crazy is that this Palm Beach Pete has just popped up out of nowhere, looking exactly like Jeffrey Epstein. And, like, you're trying to tell me that no one has ever seen him before this year? He's not been a public doppelganger of Jeffrey Epstein, even though he somehow claims to have been in the same room as Jeffrey Epstein before, yet somehow he's never been on the internet as a Jeffrey Epstein doppelganger. Like, this is Palm Beach Pete. This is Jeffrey. I have sent Palm Beach Pete a message, and if anyone else could reach out to him, let's see if we can actually find out if this Palm Beach Pete is still alive or not. You know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hashtag let's find the real Palm Beach Pete, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Talk about interesting plot development. So now it would appear that this guy who looks just like Epstein and is going by this I'm a local celebrity type name of Palm Beach Pete. There was already a Palm Beach Pete who I'm assuming is from that area, and just before this viral Palm Beach Pete pops up on the scene, that dude goes missing. I thought at first that this Palm Beach Pete story was just kind of an interesting but easily explainable situation. I figured maybe this guy's always looked like Epstein, but maybe he wasn't dyeing his hair gray, and maybe he was dyeing it brown or something. Or maybe he didn't wear his hair that long. Or maybe he recently got hair plugs. We don't know anything about the guy. But for him to just pop up out of the blue and get worldwide recognition for looking like someone that people have intentionally been looking for years now, and right before you make your first public appearance, the other local who goes by the moniker you're intending to use, after consistently posting for years to a YouTube channel, the guy just completely goes dark. How is that not suspicious? I have a feeling it's going to be a very, very twisted story. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another one. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to click like on the video and leave a comment, and that will increase the odds of my next upload showing up in your YouTube feed. But outside of that, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.